Today we are going to have a coffee with Daniel Rodrigues. Daniel is a human performance advisor. He's a human potential development coach, aka bulletproof coach. Daniel holds a master's degree in occupational psychology from the UK and has been always around human factor, talent management and acquisition. Among his interests, human performance, optimization, everything through evidence-based and data-driven methodologies. That's why in 2018 he founded Mitolab, a very peculiar location, a biohack studio, a clinic, a wellness boutique. Please don't call it a gym. With this episode, we are going to dive deep into his path through being a biohacker and a human potential development coach. We talk about longevity, we talk about fitness, efficiency. We talk as well about all the equipment you will find at Mitolab. Now, it's hard to believe, but you can still work out in the most effective and efficient way. Mitolab way. Enjoy. Talk about you, your background, and why you chose to go to the fitness market and the wellness market.
So a bit of background about me.
Yeah.
So I'm a psychologist by training. So I studied psychology, specializing in occupational psychology. So I've always been involved in organizational settings or tasks from a variety of roles. So I've been a researcher at university, I've been a consultant, and I've also held managerial roles in various companies, but always within the realm of talent management. Mm-hmm. And basically trying to always sort of gravitated to being the techie guy. So trying to enhance the human factor through the addition of technology, or trying to manage our talent more efficiently through technology. So setting up these HR information systems and all that kind of thing. And as part of that is, there's been quite a lot of thinking in my life about effectiveness and what makes an effective leader, how to become more effective and efficient myself. And through all of those sort of mix of influences, which I think as many of us in this space have done, I ended up, resorting to the writings of people like Tim Ferriss and all these gurus of efficiency. And I remember quite distinctively that the 4-hour work week was one of my earlier influences, and from there is a sort of a rabbit hole. It takes you through all of this realm of effectiveness and performance enhancing, and ultimately biohacking, or what is being called these days biohacking. I'm not so sure I'm completely comfortable with that term anymore, although I was. And I am, as a result of that, very much involved with people like Dave Asprey, and who claims to be the father of biohacking. I give that to the guy. He's well to expand and promote this sort of philosophy, this approach to life, where you're trying to be the best version of yourself that you can be through science and technology and a bit of ancestral living as well. I went as far as to become a certified bulletproof coach as part of that endeavor, and I jumped on the first iteration of the course that Bulletproof ran with what is called now the Human Potential Institute and Dr. Matt Atkinson. And I've pursued a number of supplemental certifications and degrees in the sort of wellness space. I'm a certified functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. And basically that's what I applied to my coaching with clients, which is where I sort of gravitated. I exited the corporate world, and I'm sort of flying solo, first through coaching, and probably what we're going to speak more about today is kind of a minimalistic approach to fitness in a way.
So so you had this call, and then you had in mind to create something fitness related, but with the concept of efficiency and effectiveness. When you start to create your own facility, which is located near Madrid, we will link all the details in show notes afterward.
Mm-hmm. So basically, it was mainly a way to scratch my own itch. I'm a father of 3 great boys, and you know that leaves that occupies quite a significant chunk of my life. And as you move forward in life and you become older, we're not getting younger. That's the time when you actually need to find a space for self-care. Take care of yourself, take care of the machine, so that you last longer. And I was struggling to do that. I've never been a gym person, or haven't even. I wouldn't define myself as a very sporty person either. But when family and job responsibilities come through, that it's very easy for those things to keep pushing that space that you have for your own self-care, the things that you do for yourself, to become smaller and smaller and smaller. And that's not sustainable. It's not smart. It's not the path to longevity. So that was the first motivation of finding out ways to build all of this capacity, fitness in my life in a form that fits my time availability.
Which is sorry for interrupting. Which is basically the standard nowadays for the majority of people with the business work, employed or self-employed. This is the same, but so this is this really chaotic way of operating. A lot of information inputs. So we are running. So this is the natural trend of. That's why I think this is inspired you.
Yeah, and it's funny because it tends to be a sort of a black or white. So you have 2 types of individuals. There are the ones that actually are active and have a gym membership and they're quite hooked on it, and they follow the more is better approach, and let's try, and if I can go to the gym 4 times this week is better than 2, and they tend, in my opinion, they tend to spend do more than they should. They're over exercising. They're not giving their bodies time to recover. We'll probably talk about that later. And then you have the ones that don't even try, and therefore, there's no fitness in their life. None of the 2 is better. Obviously, it's better to do something than being a couch potato. But I don't think neither of those are optimal. So it's somewhere in the middle. It's in being able to provide your body with the minimal effective dose, with the right amount of stress that enables your body to respond appropriately, generate an adaptation that makes you stronger, fitter, more capable to deal with the stresses of life.
people often they don't even try because they already know that what they are doing is is not effective. Because of this culture of doing, you need to sweat a lot to produce results. We faced in one of our poll and among a few managers and CEOs, which are highly educated people as in general, the same concern of sweating is creating result, which is not true. But this is again is a matter of culture built over time, of aerobics, of video, of fitness magazine, and all this stuff. Finally, built a sort of fitness boutique, which is really effective and efficient. So in line with the biohacking movement, or anyway, with all this stuff, if you can, we can go quickly describing the equipment you have now at the end, as you wish.
Sure. So basically, out of my own research in terms of scratching my own itch, and partly also through the different training experiences that I have, such as the Bulletproof course. So I came in touch with this realm of evidence-based fitness and technology applied to improving the human biology and the human machine. So I became interested in kind of applying those to myself. And it's true that those are not a substitute for what I call the foundations of health. So you should not, try to overcome shortcomings in your diet, in your sleep, in your, social connection, in your exposure to the outside world by utilizing these technologies. I see this as sort of the icing on the cake. Once you're doing the basics right, these are the types of things that kind of move the needle to the next level and make you overcome that thing that you were mentioning just a minute ago about people feeling that their practice, whatever it is in the gym, is not being, they don't even try because it's not going to work for them. So this stuff works, and my own experience with it in trying it on myself kind of convinced me. Not that there's a lack of scientific evidence either, but I did test all of these things in myself, and that's what led me to become what I can only describe as a health entrepreneur, and kind of setting up the studio as a sort of a business and trying out the business model. So what I have going today is kind of the beta product of what would be, hopefully in the future, a network of business facilities. But I wanted to, it's all highly experimental, and I wanted to sort of learn the ropes, try and see we have if there was a product that people could demand and that was practical and deliverable. And I think with kind of tick that box, there's demand and there is a business behind this business model. And although in Europe where we're based is still not is not mainstream, it's in the US where this type of facilities are popping up more frequently. I think it's the future of fitness, and it's a concept that will, if anything, become much more prevalent and strengthened by the crisis that we're living these days, where big box gyms become impractical. And even before COVID, a big box gym is one of the unhealthiest places that you can find yourself in. Sure. There are all sorts of reasons why being in a gym is not the best place where you can be. There's air circulation, with all sorts of bacteria going on. There's public showers. There's machines that are utilized without disinfection, user after user. Sweat being spread all over the place. Lighting that is not of the highest quality. There are all sorts of reasons why being in a gym, the traditional gym, big box gym, where we know the sort of the 80, 100 euro a month unlimited use, that make it not the best choice when it comes to fitness. And hopefully, as people will start to realize that the best way to prepare for crises such as COVID is to maximize your resilience and not wait for the crisis to appear, but make sure that you are on top of your game as fit as you can in every more extensive meaning of fitness, because I'm not just talking about muscle necessarily. I'm talking about metabolic flexibility. I'm talking about cellular integrity and all those sorts of things. But that's the best strategy to cope with these situations. And the setting to achieve that is the most effective and safe setting to achieve it is places like Mitolab and these kind of facilities.
I fully agree. So, and I think the concept, your concept, Movigym concept, will face some sort of, this will be the competitive advantage in the afterward.
I hope so.
Yeah.
For my own sake.
Yeah. Now we talk about your boutique, your so what kind of equipment you have, if you want to just have a quick round, if it's possible, or why you focus on those things and not the other, not the standard.
Okay, so I'll just give you a short answer to that first, and then I can definitely turn the screen around. And I am in the studio at the moment, so I can show you a little bit. But basically, my intention is to provide the clients with an effective way to manage their fitness with the longer term in focus. So it's about longevity. It's about finding a practice that is sustainable in time, that is safe, that you're not going to injure yourself in the process, and that is as low impact as possible, so you can keep it going for a long period of time while you can fit it in your life and your agenda and that kind of thing. And when you think about longevity, all the latest thinking in the functional medicine and wellness space is that it's about ensuring that metabolically and at the cellular level, your machinery remains effective for as long as possible. So eventually we're all going to get sick and die. But what you want to do is compress the time when you actually are experience that sickness and decay, and maximize the amount of the years that you have that you are in good health and be able to enjoy your life. So what makes that possible is everything that is not what we've come to term these days as the metabolic syndrome, which is basically this combination of traits, of symptoms that involve high blood pressure, low sensitivity to insulin, dyslipidemia, dysregulation of glycemic control in your blood, accumulation of adipose tissue, high cholesterol, heart. That correlates diabetes. That correlates with all the chronic illnesses that the westernized population is dying of these days, and we're getting sicker earlier and increasing the cost on our medical systems earlier, because we don't have, as a society, as a medical practice is very well designed to deal with acute trauma, but not with the longer chronic issues. And there's no magic pill that you can take to improve your insulin sensitivity and how well you are able to create energy at the cellular level. And that's what we do here. Mitolab comes from mitochondria. So it's sort of a gym for your mitochondria. Mitochondria are the power houses of the cell. They are involved in ATP production, which is the molecule that we use, the energy molecule that the body uses to work. And the more ATP you're able to produce, the better everything will work and the less oxidative stress you will experience, which is ultimately what creates degeneration in the body, accumulation of toxic byproducts of their metabolism. So what we try to do here is provide that environment that improves the health of your cellular machinery and your mitochondria.
Right.
And so during my research on this topic, I realized that there were a number of things that scientifically had proven to make that possible. And so one of the key ones is strength training, because it has an impact on so many different things. Of the ones that I just mentioned on the metabolic front, bone density, your ability to operate and move around in the world, is all related to maintaining muscle mass, which is something that tends to decline as you go through in life. So we do strength training, and we do it through the most effective technology, effective and efficient technology that I was able to find, which we'll talk about in a while, which is ARX. And it's basically a way to provide resistance to the muscles that is very effective in stimulating, in creating fatigue in the muscles, which is the stimulus that makes them grow.
Yeah, I know that it's hard. Sorry for interrupting. I know that it's very hard to explain. Also, Mark Alexander, who again is the CEO and founder of ARX, he was a little bit in trouble in explaining how does it work. So I just show a video of a leg press. He just went through the video together, because it's easier to see that to explain, and it's very
definitely
unique. So yeah,
it's something that you need to experience rather than being told. But yeah, if I had to make my own contribution and explaining it, is basically technology that is designed to ensure that the highest number of muscle fibers — muscles are made of individual fibers, and they're not all recruited for every single movement. So what ARX does is forcing your brain to recruit the maximum number of those fibers as possible to overcome the resistance that the machine is presenting you with, and to bring them to a point where most of them get tired in the short period of time.
Yeah.
That stimulus is what makes the response of the body to create, to rebuild and create more muscle tissue that there was before, most effectively, because it's basically sending a message to your body that what you have today to cope with the environment is not sufficient to meet the demands that you're being presented with. And we are hunter-gatherers. We are animals that depend on our ability to move in order to kill and not be killed. And anything that tells the body that we might not be in a good position to fulfill that demand is going to bring about very drastic changes, and the body is very quick, very fast at responding on that.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing with ARX, and I can quickly show you how those machines.
Yeah, you have the two machines, Alpha and Omni. Yes.
Alpha.
Yeah, this is the one we saw already in the short clip with Mark Alexander. Omni is there, but you see just before the okay, I know that this will be also produced in a podcast, audio podcast, so I will link the video. But another thing that I know that, but the listeners they cannot see or even think about is in your facility you did use a special paint. So tell me a little bit more about the.
Okay. So yeah, well,
because it is
what we tried to basically this is a work of love. So we're just not just trying to basically have the best technology, but to do it in a way that is as consistent with our biology as possible. So in the design of the space, what I did is I hired they define themselves as domotherapists. So therapists for buildings, or basically they specialize in creating living spaces that are consistent with human biology, with life. And so basically build the place from scratch. We even scraped down and we went down 1 meter before the floor level to ensure that that the installation would be properly grounded even. So we have a sort of a cable that goes through the entire surface of the place and is linked to a grounding pit that is independent. It's just for the studio, so that you are grounded wherever you find yourself, because there's a lot of electromagnetic radiation coming out.
I mean, this you created consistent with the idea of keeping healthy mitochondria. So at the cellular level, you created this environment where people can enter and be safe at the biological level, produce result for their biology as well in a short period of time, and then you can explain the typical workout, if you want to call workout or therapy or session, the typical session of one of your clients in your studio.
So, but let me just finish. So what we did so we have the grounding, we have the paint that you described. So basically, there's nothing industrial in terms of glues or anything like that. That basically is chemical. Everything, the flooring is made of bamboo that doesn't have varnish. It's got some sort of oil. The paint in the wall is mineral paint, is silicate based. The lighting is basically during the day is full spectrum, and then we modify it as the day goes along to change the color temperature of the light, so that even if you're training late, you're going to be you're not going to be disrupting your circadian rhythm. The air is also circulated through a special filter and ionized technology. Even the cabling in the walls, there are no rings. So the different sockets, everything is on a tree, so that there are no electromagnetic rings creating this effect. So and even the casing within the cables in the walls is a Faraday cage. It's not just plastic tubing. It's metal. So we went very thoroughly in making sure that this was well done.
Yeah, but these are things that there are things that the normal people cannot see, but there are these details that are making a difference. So So if you
and I actually I cannot charge more for it. People would not necessarily notice it if I didn't mention, but I've seen reactions in certain clients and people that actually value and end up becoming members. I'm based in Madrid in Spain, but I have a member that comes from Portugal. So And he literally comes in from Portugal. It's not that he's Portuguese. He travels to Madrid on a regular basis for business, and every time he visits the city, he comes in and trains. He became a member, paid 6 months in advance, because he appreciated that we were trying to do something special, something different, that it was not just a business, that there was passion and love and care behind what we were doing. So I think it makes a difference, even if it's not readily apparent. You were asking about typical training. So what else do we have? So we do.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn this around, and there's like a light panel in there, so you might not be able to see it very well. That is level 2. You see it? So that's a bag.
Yes. We try
that
to
is hanging from the wall.
Explain what
and is connected to that bicycle. That's a Carol bike.
Carol bike. Yes, we will link also in the show notes. Carol AI.
And so what we do that is the if you like the cardio element. Although it's a little bit more than just cardio.
It's not the technical.
The technical term is EWOT, exercise with oxygen therapy. So it's closer to a hyperbaric oxygen therapy than just what you would consider like a spinning session. It's not something like that. Although Carol is also in itself sort of an AI-powered bicycle which delivers just the right amount of resistance and learns from your progress and gives you the right stimulus so that you keep progressing with very short sessions. Everything that we have is also geared at being low in sort of in duration, so that you can go through a circuit and do multiple modalities of exercise without having to spend 1 hour. So an average spinning class would last for at least half an hour, 45 minutes, or an hour
minimum, with a lot of sweat.
There's nothing like that over here. You are the Live O2 session lasts for 15 minutes. A Carol only session takes 10 minutes. You should not spend any more than 10 minutes under load on ARX. Even that light panel that you briefly saw, which is like the one that you have over there, a photo biomodulation panel. This one, I'm just testing it out. It only takes 10 minutes for a full body session. So basically a client can come in once per week, although they can come more often if they wish, spend 10 minutes in each station, and in less than 1 hour, they would have done something significant for their physiology. And as I say, if they then go back home or they go back to their life and they make sure that they're eating well, they're sleeping well, they're managing the stress, this is going to make a difference.
Yeah, clearly.
So that's basically the structure of a session. We normally do a combination of strength training and exercise with oxygen. And as part of the warm-up, they can do, maybe they go in front of the red light panels as a warm-up, or in a vibration platform that we have over there. And in addition to that, we are going to start focusing much more on the recovery front. So, for instance, we are experimenting with hydrogen and basically providing a way for people to spend some time delivering stimulation that sets them in a parasympathetic state that basically facilitates their recovery. And we're going to start working on brain stimulation as well, so entrainment and that sort of therapies and things that you can combine. So they can basically receive in 30 minutes a session that combines hydrogen inhalation through a cannula with brain stimulation and maybe pulse electromagnetic frequency or these recovery boots for lymphatic drainage. So you're hitting basically 3 birds with stone in that period of half an hour that you're laying there receiving beneficial electromagnetic frequency. You're breathing hydrogen, maybe getting some photobiomodulation and that kind of thing. That's the next step in our progression. We're starting to move in that direction. And we also do have here a I don't know if you can see it, sauna.
Yeah.
An infrared sauna, which is also a great recovery tool and an element that is also critical for the overall health of a cell, which is detoxification.
Wow! So nothing is normal and standard in your studio. I would say this is a little futuristic for people. So a result in terms of results. So what kind of result are you practically receiving in terms of feedback from your clients? Male and female, any different? Age, is there any different? What kind of feedback?
Okay, so one thing that we try to do, because as you say, this is all very different from traditional fitness. It's also almost hard to believe for people that, okay, so you're telling me that I come here 10 minutes once a week and then it's going to be the same as going to the gym 3 times a week for 2 hours. So it's, it sounds too good to be true. So one thing that is critical is that we're able to measure results and progress, and we do that. But before we go into that, the first and most profound piece of feedback that we get is what people are feeling themselves, regardless of the numbers, regardless of the increases of strength that we can show on the ARX, regardless of the changes in body composition that we can measure with in-body technology that we also have, is the way they feel. And typically what you hear is that the first piece of feedback is, I feel taller somehow. I walk more proud, and certain aches and pains that are kind of chronic seem to disappear quite quickly. So things like lower back pain, shoulder, neck pains, those kinds of things, through this mix of therapeutic oxygen and strength training, they are the first things that go away. People sleep better. And what I encourage, I don't do this in the studio as other trainers do, like the before and after sort of pictures, where we pudorous in that sense. But I do recommend clients to actually take a picture of themselves in their own private privacy of their home, so that they can compare and they can see and they can track and they often come to the studio and kind of show, look at my thighs, and can you not see the difference? And this is looking like so much tighter. And particularly ladies, women don't tend to care so much about.
And this is the time frame. So the results are coming with this short burst of exercise or treatment every week. Approximately an average result is coming in how many sessions?
You mean the latency when they start seeing results?
Yes, correct.
The most dramatic effects come at the beginning. I mean, it comes to a point where progress is kind of very steep at the beginning, particularly if you are starting from a very deconditioned situation, and so you improve very quickly because the human body is amazing in its capacity to adapt. But eventually, you're going to start plateauing, or at least that kind of level of increase of improvement is going to level in a little bit. So you get these pieces of feedback, reduction in aches and pains, probably within a month, and that's a month of coming once per week for a training session that lasts at best, 30 minutes.
Wow.
So 2 hours investment in the course of a month, and you're seeing a reduction of aches and pains that have lingered in their bodies for years. After 3 months, it is very apparent to clients that something's changed, that they're feeling better in many different ways. But it often comes as a surprise. Like one day they suddenly do something without thinking that they,
not expecting.
After the event, realize they could not have possibly even imagined doing a few months before.
Yeah.
They surprise themselves going, oh, look, this happened, and I went and did this and adopted this position, or I crouched, or I jumped over this, or we went up this mountain and came down, and I wasn't even feeling tired. So after that, they kind of go, wow. So it's not like they're feeling superhuman all the time, but it's in these situations where normal life takes you that you're able to adapt and respond much more efficiently and adaptively. That they realize, wow, this is it's different. This is not what. None of my clients, in all honesty, are going to be professional athletes, or they're not training for anything. They just want to feel better and last longer, be more capable in the world. So that's what we do here, to enable them to operate at a higher level. Everything under the domain mitolab.club, CLUB. That's where you can find us. You can find us on Instagram. That's probably a more informative way at the moment to kind of get a feel for what we do at Mitolab. And we're present on Facebook and Twitter. It's all Mitolab. Look for Mitolab and you will find us.
Perfect. We will link
but as I say, that's something that so far has not been the main driver of clients or the main educational. It's something that we need to definitely improve so we can reach more people. But it's so far been more a word of mouth sort of approach, where people getting results would tell others, and
which for the standard for your business model is fitting. So is again, we are not talking about low cost gym with critical mass to be reached every month, but what's the average number of clients in 1 month?
In 1 month?
Yes.
We currently have a membership of 20 something. Our goal is to reach 60 members. So that's something that we can comfortably service in this environment where people come in one by one. On a Monday to Saturday schedule, 8 in the morning to 8 in the evening, coming once or twice a week. That's a number that is kind of safe. So
great, with no rush and with the safety and okay.
Yeah, and typically it's the client that we're looking for is somebody that is kind of informed, understands all of this, and they're not concerned about cost. They're not looking for low cost. They're looking for high quality. So we're more expensive than the alternative monthly membership at your local gym, and we understand that. and we also understand that this is not, at least at this point, is not for the mass market, and many people are going to find that is outside of their realm of possibility. But as one of my clients says, this guy that comes from Portugal, when I kind of voice my concerns that maybe we should reach more people and maybe we should make it more affordable, he says, look, there's nothing truly great that was cheap at the beginning. Like Tesla is not the cheapest car in the world, and traveling to space is not going to be for the masses, but you need those pioneers, those early adopters, those people that are willing to pay above market value at the beginning to make sure that ideas and concepts become workable for the mass market. So it has to be this way at this stage, particularly in Europe and more importantly in Spain, which is kind of very much out of touch with all this wave of new fitness concepts. But I'm happy with that. I understand that, and I think it's a matter of doing a good job every day, every step of the way, and it will sell. Our services will be seek and sell themselves.
So with this, I really thank you for your to be here, for your time, and everything will be in the show notes as fast as we can. So thank you very much again, and keep in touch.
My pleasure. Thank you, Manlio, and
stay strong.
Keep pressing with Mobigym.
Yeah. Bye.
The world needs you.